What's going on, guys? It's Cal here from Buffalo Sports Center. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at the home of the Buffalo Sabres, the KeyBank Center. I know a lot of people love this place. A lot of people love to hate this place. So I'm just going to be taking a look at some of the older features that they need to upgrade and some of the newer ones that they brought in to help fans love the game. So as you can see here, again, this is the old scoreboard. Again, they had the smoking buffaloes, which everyone liked, but man, that scoreboard was super small. The frames, the pixels were always broken on it. I mean, again, you can't really complain that they made this upgrade. And when you guys see this new scoreboard in a little bit, you guys will know what I mean. I mean, this thing was so small and it had sponsors all over it. But I mean, look at this new scoreboard. I mean, what an improvement. The only complaint I have is they don't really utilize the corners that much because they cut it off, but still a beautiful scoreboard. The Sabres also made some new additions outside of the arena, and let's take a look at those. As you guys can see here, that new roof looks way better than the old blue one, but it doesn't really have too much of an effect on the fan experience. They also made an addition to the outside area. They got that new mural on the wall. Here's an awkward picture of me standing right by it for a class. And again, I think it's a very good addition, and hopefully fans will like it as well. So the Sabres actually do have a pretty cool intro. They bring those swords down still. The on-ice projections are pretty darn cool. They have the goat head, they have the regular one. And yeah, they blast the horn when the Sabres come out. So pretty standard for an NHL team, but I think it is a pretty cool walk-up. And they have a nice little intro video too before the game starts. Again, that'll be a lot more fun to watch when there are more people in the stands and also hopefully playoff games. So yeah, you guys can see here, I mean, clearly a pretty sick intro. Unfortunately, it was a little sparse in the stands, but it did fill up a little bit later. But yeah, definitely a cool intro for the Sabres. This area over here, again, they still have that blue zone where fans can sit down. A little bit bland on the signs and posters to the left, but in the 300s, they had a little bit more of, player-specific signs. So I think they made up for it there. Now let's get into my least favorite part of going to a Sabres game. The intermissions. Again, we go to Bills games all the time. Sometimes they have some fun halftime shows. Sometimes they have like a corgi race, stuff like that. Sometimes they have some bland ones. But man, oh man, if you're going to the game with a friend or a family member, you're not going to be able to hear them talk during the intermissions because the Sabres have a cover band play the entirety of the intermission report. And again, it'd be one thing if it was like people that you actually know of, but these cover bands are local, cover bands. So number one, you don't know who the people are, which again, I'm all for supporting local business and stuff like that. But again, the music, they're singing covers. It's not original songs. And the speakers in the arena are terrible. So again, these people could be the best singers. You could put Whitney Houston out there and it would still sound really bad to the people listening. Again, they play for about 15 to 20 minutes before the game. They play, 8, probably 10 minutes at each intermission. And again, I was sitting at the game talking to my buddy next to me, and you could not hear a word you were saying when they were blasting these cover songs. So again, if you're going to the game and you're really invested, you want to kind of break down the period like I do after each period, you're not going to be able to do that unless you go to the concourse. Speaking of the concourses, again, there's still Navy signs. And I will show you guys a tweet in a little bit too of people just absolutely beside themselves that the Sabres still have navy blue signs. Again, we've changed to royal blue around 5 years ago. This is not a new change. The team has to change those signs. But yeah, again, it's really tough to sit through a game, especially when the Sabres kind of stink and say they're down 5-2 at the end of the second, and all of a sudden this cover band comes out. There's just a lot of nonsense going around. Now, I will end on a positive here talking about the intermission stuff. They do have those fun games that you see at every other stadium, right? Higher, lower, guess, the trivia, the face mash to win the prize and all stuff like that. That is fun. That is cool to watch. But again, I mean, it is an absolute joke that they have these bands play over and over and over and over. And I support local bands. Like I said, I want them to succeed. But putting them in the KeyBank Center with these terrible speakers just makes people not want to watch. Again, the bands go out, and I heard multiple people in my section complaining. It sounded terrible. You couldn't hear anything. They wanted to almost leave. So again, it's year in, year out. They've been doing this for a couple of years now. It has to stop. So yeah, here's the little spot they have right by the organ where the bands perform. And again, it's a nice idea. I get it. But man, the speakers are terrible. The people don't know, the people who are singing. Again, it's just not a good system to have if you're the Sabres. Something's got to change there. Although, like I said, I support local bands. Speaking of intermission and all of that stuff, in between breaks, they do still have an organist, which I think is awesome. Again, gives you that old-timey feel. You could still do the Here Come the Sabres little jingle there on that organ as well. And the guy who does it, I think his last name's Cook. He does a really nice job, and he's been doing it for a while. So great stuff there from the organ. So that is going to be the end of this video. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys like the arena, hate the arena, think it needs upgrades. Again, obviously it's an older arena. You're going to see cracks in the concourse and stuff like that. But overall, I think that new scoreboard really saved the day for the KeyBank Center. Again, if they have that old scoreboard, I would definitely rank the stadium as like a D. I'll move it up to maybe a B-, maybe a C+. Again, there's plenty of more improvements that can be made. But for now, I think the Sabres are doing just fine. Let's hope the team continues to play at a decent level and keeps that stadium packed the entire season, because attendance is always an issue. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good one. Peace out.